Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are entering the land of social skills, and I'm going to be talking about the mute. There's a difference between a quiet person and a mute. A quiet person is someone that doesn't talk that much, but at least talks. But a mute, on the other hand, is someone who I would say, when they speak, it makes you think, whoa, you could talk? That means this mute, they speak in rare doses. I would say mute is for speaking skills what a loner is for social skills. They just rarely either hang out with people or they rarely use words. Now, is being a mute a bad thing? I would say yes. And I recall I have firsthand experience with this roughly around 10th grade. Roughly around 10th grade, I was in the IB program, and my IB program was divided into two different groups. There was Group A and Group B. And after we would get bucketed into different groups, they would organize our classes like that. So in Group A, which was the group that I was in, I knew all the other students there because we all had similar classes. And for Group B folks, they all knew each other as well. One day, there was an issue. For whatever reason, they transferred me to a history class with a bunch of Group B IB students. I didn't know any of them. And as soon as I was placed in that environment, I felt weird. I felt as though they had great chemistry, but for me, I didn't feel like I belonged. So for a long time, I would just show up to class and I wouldn't say a single word. There were times that the other students would try to talk to me. I would respond back briefly, but other than that, I wouldn't say that much. One day, what happened was our history teacher, he was getting carried away. He was telling some sort of joke and he accidentally cursed. And one of the students, he called out the teacher. He was like, "Mr. Madigan, you're always talking about us watching our words, but you don't watch your words." And Mr. Madigan said, "You know what? You're right. To make up for this, I'm going to give each and every single one of you a compliment." So Mr. Madigan went through each of the classmates, giving them a compliment, and eventually he came to me. And he said, "Armani, he's one of those guys where if he ever yelled at you, you would be shocked because he is such a kind guy." And when he said that, I felt good. Until someone blurted out, "Wait, he talks?" And he said it in a way where the entire classroom busted out laughing, and I was embarrassed. It was one of those moments where I thought everything was going well, and then suddenly something just bad happens. And back then, I was mad at those kids. I thought, well, what do you expect from me? Do you actually want me to say something even though I have nothing to say? Why does it bother you if you guys will say I'm a mute? I'm not hurting anyone. Until years passed on by and I realized what these other classmates were feeling. What they were seeing from me was a guy that was really aloof and a guy that did not care. I didn't feel like that. Back then, I just didn't have anything to say. So I just thought, why even bother saying it? But I realized later on when I was in group projects, when I was hosting people, when I was having dinner with people, where if they were quiet for 90 to 98% of the time, I would subconsciously have a negative reaction to them. It's not something that I'm logically thinking through where I'm thinking, well, maybe this person has nothing to say. That's why they're so quiet. It shouldn't bother you. Why use words when you don't need to? I'm not thinking about it logically at all. All I'm thinking is, why are you here? What is wrong with you? You're really annoying me for whatever reason. And that is how a lot of people react to mutes. There's a lot of quotes floating around nowadays talking about embrace silence, don't change yourself for anyone. But I would disagree with that. I believe with social intelligence, one important thing is to use your audio every now and then so you don't fall into that trap, whether it's for work. And by the way, I actually made a video about this a while back. It's called Quiet Yet Productive. And in the talk, I said that there were plenty of productive workers who never socialized with their coworkers, that were seen as snobby. And due to them being perceived as snobby, upper management would monitor them more, even though they were productive. They had the reputation as a bad coworker because they would never make the attempt to socialize with their coworkers. So this happens at work. And if you want to check out the video, I'll link it right on here if you're watching from the laptop. Or if you're watching from YouTube, just type in quiet yet productive Armani Talks. Say something. It doesn't matter what it is. You'll realize as you get older, people don't really care about your words that much. They just care more about the audio and the tonality behind it. Make an observation out loud. Share a random insight. Say something like, oh, that was really funny. Say something, and don't fall into that trap, because once you build that reputation for yourself as being a mute, then eventually when you have something to say, people are not necessarily going to listen to your message. They're just going to be bewildered that you're saying anything at all. So don't make that reputation for yourself and use your audio. If you enjoyed today's talk, drop that like for me right on below. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification, and never miss another episode again. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.